And we've made it to Friday. Made it to Friday on the hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming to you from the magic city of Birmingham. This time around next week, Crimson Tide will have spring football practice. Everybody excited about that. How about Alabama men's basketball getting a win to start the SEC tournament, taking care of Mississippi State? The Crimson Tide will take on the winner, will take on Tennessee on tomorrow afternoon on ESPN in the semifinal round of the conference tournament. Prayers out to one Joshua Primo, the freshman from Canada, sustained a knee injury in the second half of Alabama versus Mississippi State. Hopefully everything will be okay where Primo is concerned. But we got you right here, rocking and rolling here on In My Own Words, bringing you the show from YouTube, well, streaming the show to you via YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, give a thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, alerts, information, and coverage on your program, that being the Crimson Tide. Not only are we streaming this to you through YouTube, but we also got you covered here, Facebook and Twitter as well. All forms of social media keeping you locked and loaded on your Alabama Crimson Tide. The show brought to you by WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That is WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. If you haven't done so, go ahead and cop you that four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, and the student athletes in the pageantry, the tradition of owning and or dominating that fourth quarter. WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Check them out today. Got a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. No guest today, just me. And we want you being a part of the show, the Alabama Nation. And you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. But it's a number to dial to let your voice be heard here on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Got the daily Super Chat Go, as always, $75 daily Super Chat Go. You guys have been unbelievable, outstanding, helping us out here on the show. We appreciate the love, the passion, the joy, the support that you give us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But before we get into topic one of the conversation, got a little bit of an update for you, Alabama in the NFL here, as one Mark Ingram, after 2 years with the Baltimore Ravens, the former Alabama standout, 2009 Heisman Trophy winner, 2009 SEC and BCS national champion, Ingram has signed a one-year deal. He signed a one-year deal worth $3 million for the Houston Texans. So he's now in Houston now, moving from Baltimore to the Texans on that one-year deal worth $3 million there. That is one Mark Ingram. But we get into our first topic of the conversation right now as we continue sort of breaking down, analyzing the positional units for Alabama football in terms of spring practice. The Crimson Tide will kick things off next Friday, March the 19th. Spraying it in the air. We're gonna get back to hearing the pads pop, the pigskin being thrown around, the plays being made on the field. So as we get into a team and a program trying to repeat as national champions for the first time since 2011 and 2012. It all starts in spring ball. It all starts in spring practice. So we get back into the conversation of breaking down these positional units here for spring ball. And while the most intriguing spot, the spot that draws the most attention, the quarterback race, quarterback battle, quarterback competition and conversation. And while it's supposed to draw the conversation, it's supposed to draw the most attention because it is the quarterback room, it is the quarterback position. Everybody has their eyes on that spot. But a group that will be, I guess, more harder to judge than the quarterbacks, it will go to the defensive secondary. defensive secondary will be a bit more tougher, a bit more challenging to judge there, to critique there, to kind of, I guess, finalize as opposed to the quarterback position. And I feel like, to me, the defensive back room, that's more of a challenge. That's more of a situation to kind of gauge due to the fact that, and it's not a bad thing, Coach Saban has stockpiled so much talent. He's put together so much talent. He's recruited so much talent here the last 3 to 4 or 5 recruiting classes that we start to forget a lot of these names that are currently on the roster. There are moments where we forget that Jalen Armour-Davis is on the roster. There are moments where we forget that Marcus Banks is on the roster. There are moments we forget that Brandon Turnage, among other guys, they're on the roster. So the big thing here for Coach Saban is trying to hammer down the best starting rotation of 5 to 6 guys that I can get on the field, that I can put on the field in that defensive secondary. That's the big deal. Now, for me, the defensive front 7 will be the big strength. The secondary, once you get the best 5 to 6 guys concretely on the field and they grow together and they gel together and they play together, then that secondary will become a huge strength. But to start off the spring, it's going to take some time for the Tide to lock in, who those guys are. I kind of equate the secondary in the same boat as the offensive line. When you look at the offensive line, Alabama replacing 3 guys. When you look at Alex Leatherwood, Landon Dickerson, and Deontay Brown, though it does return some starters, it's replacing some guys to the NFL, and it's going to have to be able to locate some guys that will be some starters, that will be contributing players, that will be marquee pieces, and the offensive line will have to find that way to gel and get everything working and running there. Same thing with the defensive secondary. It loses Patrick Surtain II to the next level. Now, it does return some guys in that back 5 or back 5 to back 6. And the first 2, you look at having Jordan Battle and Malachi Moore back. This is a big deal. Both of these 2, when you discuss Moore and Battle, are entrenched starters. No one's taking the strong safety position away from Battle. No one's taking the star position in that nickel role away from Malachi Moore. So both of these 2 are leaders. Both of these 2 are now veterans. Both of these 2 are entrenched starters. So you at least know 2 guys in that defensive secondary that aren't going away, that aren't going anywhere. These 2 are starters here. But the questions, the competition flows in other spots. And first and foremost, you bring Josh Jobe in the conversation. He's back for his senior year at that cornerback position. The question with Jobe is, can he fend off the talented freshman? Can he fend off the other guys on that roster to hold on to one of the 2 cornerback positions? Because with Jobe, I feel like you get the physicality, right? You get the physicality, you get the toughness, you get the ability to jam and frustrate wide receivers and get underneath the skin of those playmakers on the outside. You get the positive from Jobe, you get the passion, you get the effort, you get the energy from Jobe, but you also get the defensive pass interference, you get the holdings, you get the lining up off sides or jumping off sides for that matter. So you take the good with the bad when it comes to Jobe. But the question for him is, can he put it all together technique-wise? Can he clean up the mistakes technique-wise? Can he be the guy that can fend off a JaQuincy McKinstry or a Kadarius Callaway or a Marcus Banks? Can he fend off these guys and hold one of the 2 cornerback positions, one of the 2 island spots on the outside at corner? That'll be the big thing there for Josh Jobe moving forward, starting off with this spring here coming in. Now, 2 names to me that have to be on the field. I don't care how the secondary shakes out. I don't care how Nick Saban puts the best 5 to 6 on the field. 2 names that have to start in the defensive secondary, Brian Branch and DeMarco Hellams. These are two names that must get on the field. These are two names that showed you, that proved to you last year they can handle it. They can handle it, they can dominate, they can give you production, they can give you energy, they can give you technique, they can give you quality effort on the field. Brian Branch, this past season, 27 tackles, shared a tackle for loss, had 7 pass breakups among the team leaders, had 2 interceptions against Auburn and Arkansas during the regular season. And of the 12 games he played in, Branch started in 3 of those games. He started against Mississippi State. He started against he started against Mississippi State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. And in the 3 starts that he had, Branch, 14 tackles, 6 pass breakups. So he's around the ball. He's a ball hawk. He's a ball magnet. He's a highlight playmaker ready to happen. A secure tackler, really, really strong there in coverage at 6 feet, 196 pounds. When he came out of Tyrone, Georgia in the 2020 class, he was the all-time leader for interceptions at Sandy Creek High School. This guy's a big deal here. And just to me, no matter how the secondary shakes out, if I'm Coach Saban, if I'm safeties coach Charles Kelly, I'm finding a way to get Brian Branch on the field as a starter. And along with him, DeMarco Hellams, who had 52 tackles a season ago, had 62 tackles, a season ago. He put together a hit stick sort of highlight tape on his end, a guy that not only a big hitter, but he secures the play, he finishes plays, secures tackles, very, very solid in coverage at 6'1", 208 pounds, a guy that can play in the dime role, a guy that can play in the safety role. Both of these two have to be on the field. They must be on the field. It's needful for both of those two to be on the field because of the production and the consistency, and just the range, the chemistry that both of these two play with. And Coach Saban, once again, he's always talked about getting his best guys on the field. Brian Branch, DeMarco Hellams, among 2 of your best guys that you need to get here on the field. So the defensive secondary is a huge part here of spring ball. Once again, people's eyeballs are glued to the quarterback conversation for obvious reasons. For the first time since 2017, you look at this as a highly anticipated quarterback fight in breaking down Bryce Young, Paul Tyson, and Jalen Milroe. But I feel like the quarterback battle will be solved before the rotation and the secondary shakes out, because like I mentioned, Nick Saban stockpiles these DBs much like T.I. was stockpiling guns a while back. Nick Saban is putting together, he has put together class upon class upon class upon class of DBs going back to 2017, to where there are moments that you kind of look back and you go, whoa, this cat was on the roster? Whoa, this guy's on the roster? Whoa, that guy's on the roster? Kind of forgot about him. Kind of forgot about that guy. Kind of forgot about that dude. So while Bama has 2 entrenched guys in Malachi Moore and Jordan Battle, it's going to be interesting to see how the other 4 guys, how does this rotation shape out here for the Crimson Tide starting off in spring ball. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Continue to hit that like button, give us a thumbs up, turn on those notifications, hit that subscribe button so we can continue getting you the best in Tide football. Upon our return, we entertain your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats. We talk to you, the fans, right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We back in, folks, on a Friday TGIF edition of the show from the break. On the number one ticket for Crimson Tide football news on YouTube. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have everybody in here on today. As always, be sure, hit that thumbs up, run those likes up, like the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on as we continue providing you the best in Alabama football. Also, if you're trying to become a member to TDA on YouTube, this is what you do. You check out the link in the chat line and in the description. That link will show you step by step on how to become a member to TDA on the YouTube channel. Also, guys, shout out my man Jimmy Clay, Jimmy the Man Clay, starting us off that $25 super chat donations, helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the support there from Jimmy Clay. $75 daily super chat goal, $75 goal there. You guys have been tremendous these last few weeks, hitting that goal, making us your show for Crimson Tide football. Next week, though, people, spring practice for football kicking up Friday of next week. But we go to the phone lines to take your calls, 205-448-1358. That's the number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. We take a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on? Lost that call there, unfortunately, but once again, people, we got you. We're taking your calls right now, 205-448-1358. Think the call came back. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Stephen, I'll tell you what, I've been running around today like a chicken with his head cut off, but I'm going to start off. Hey, what about Alabama men's basketball this morning? 37-point win. Ooh, Lord.
Absolutely. Great job by Coach Oates. The offense was strong, Waylon, but the defense impressed me. The defense locked Mississippi State down, and the Bulldogs, scrappy team, they got 2 7-footers on the floor, but that didn't make a bit of difference. Alabama defended well, got in transition, made shots, a lot of energy on the floor. Big job by Bama basketball. Great job.
Yeah, it was a great job. I'm sort of glad to hear through the grapevine Josh Primo there. We may even get him back tomorrow. I don't know what you're hearing there. What are you hearing about that? Are you hearing the same thing on him about the knee injury there?
Well, right now, Waylon, there's a lot of positive hope right now because normally if there was an ACL tear or a serious injury with the knee, we would have known this quickly. So with him getting help to the locker room, him getting x-rayed, he was smiling quite a bit there. So there is a lot of hope. There is a lot of positivity surrounding that situation. So it's looking very hopeful that we could get Primo back for the Tennessee game tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I sure was worried about that when I saw him go down today. I said, oh, Lord, we don't need that to happen. But anyway, everything's looking good. I've read a lot of articles, so that's great. I'm going to get off here. Like I said, I don't have the form ready for today. I've had too much going on, but we'll get something ready for Monday, the Lord's willing. It's the weekend. Everybody stay safe. Everybody looking good in the gang, Blue Wrench Gang. Everybody in the cities, towns, countries, and states blow TDA up. I appreciate it. I do, too. All the love y'all send me. I appreciate every bit of it. Y'all looking good. All right, I'll be back on Monday. Maybe we'll have a giggle on Monday, and it's my fault and I didn't do it today, but we'll do it Monday. Y'all be safe this weekend. Stephen, bye-bye. Talk to you Monday.
Appreciate that call there coming from Waylon, starting us off here on Friday. We'll take our next call of the night. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Stephen? It's Mattress Matt down here in Mobile. How you been doing?
My man, Mattress Matt. What's happening, man?
You know who I'm really excited about is Christian Leary.
I'm
guy,
here. I'm telling you,
he seems
Matt,
to have a top
I'm hearing
speed.
so many good things, Matt. I'm hearing so many good things, Matt, about Leary. The guy is tearing it up in the fourth quarter program. He's turning heads, and the dude is literally he's Kenyon Drake with route running ability. That's what he is. He is Kenyon Drake with route running ability, and Coach Saban and the staff, they're giving him the first crack at possibly taking the slot position away from Slade Bolden. But not only just that, they're giving Leary a shot to have a starting role in the kick return, punt return aspect. Leary's turning heads, man.
Man, that's exciting. I mean, he's like he'd be like Kenyon Drake, but faster and with better side to side movement as well. I mean, and he's bigger too, I think, than Kenyon Drake. I mean, they're just getting better every year. I mean, I don't know where we're finding these guys. I mean, but I'm definitely happy about it. And the other thing that was on my mind is when you ran the numbers the other day of you showed the progression of Pete Golding, and that was very interesting. I've never seen that he's actually getting worse every year, and I'm not. What do we need to do about Pete Golding? I mean, you just go ahead and just cut to the chase and just tell it like it is. If you, what would you do?
I mean, this to me, this is his proven year. If he's going to prove anything, this is his proven year, because, to me, this is his proven year. You got everybody back that made a significant impact, with the exception of losing Barmore, losing Patrick Surtain. Dylan Moses did make an impact, but in terms of just huge, massive production, you lost just Barmore and Patrick Surtain. So this is Pete Golding's proven year. If he cannot get it done this year, you got to go somewhere else. I mean, you have to. I mean, I understand the game has changed. I get it. Offense is taking over. I get it. But at some point, and we had Mike McCoy, former Alabama receiver, on this show talk about it. He was like, I know offense is getting better, but heck, defense, change too. Do something too. And this is a passionate former player, and Mike McCoy talking about it. So this is the proven year for Coach Golding. But appreciate that call there coming from Mattress Matt down there in Mobile. Definitely appreciate that call. So, I mean, absolutely excited about Christian Leary. This is the proven year to me for Pete Golding, but also very excited for Bama basketball. And as I was talking to Mattress Matt, you guys, the Bama fan base, was blowing us up with Super Chat. So let's get to that right now. How about McConaughey? McConaughey comes in with that $20 donation. Appreciate McConaughey, the pimp of the Blue Rich Gang. Senator Highs in the cut. He done dropped in a $10 donation. Roll Tide and Rise Up. He done fired up the clip with a $25 donation. Gucci Tide and hopped in here with $10. I mean, fans, how about y'all right now? As I'm talking to Mattress Man, y'all done sat down in here and y'all have reached the Super Chats. We have reached the $75 Super Chat goal. Appreciate McConaughey, Roll Tide and Rise Up, Gucci Tide, Jimmy Clay again with $25. Everybody putting their money in the hat. Appreciate the love there from everybody showing out on a Friday TGIF edition here of the show. Appreciate you guys, the passionate fans of Tide football. But the topic right now, as you guys are continuing to get your calls in, 205-448-1358. That's the number to call in, 205-448-1358. How about Bama men's basketball, though, seriously? Nate Oates, John Petty, Herb Jones, this entire team, the job Bama basketball did earlier today, getting the 85-48 win over Mississippi State in the quarterfinal round of the SEC tournament. Alabama will move on to face Tennessee tomorrow afternoon in the semifinal round of the tournament. Bama trying to win its first SEC tournament since 1991, and they're on fire right now. I mean, the shots were falling today from three-point range, whether it came from Petty, whether it came from Shackelford, whether it came from Javon Quinterly, whether it came from Keon Ellis, even Joshua Primo, the freshman, had a couple of three balls in there. Once again, prayerfully, hopefully Primo will be able to play on tomorrow. He had a little knee injury in the second half there of the game. He was kind of crying there. He was kind of screaming in pain. They were able to help him off the floor there. But before I continue with Bama men's basketball, we take a call right now in the queue. You're live on the show. What's going on tonight?
What's going on, Stephen A?
Senator Hines, what's happening with your man?
Nothing much, man. I was enjoying you talk about Bama basketball, man. They put me in there, just gonna cut you off like that, man. Nah, but man, I was surprised at what them boys did today. I'm not gonna lie. I knew we would pull it out, but that defense, like you said, man, it was just crazy.
They knocked State down, and a do is 7 feet. They got another 7-footer on the team also. Mississippi State always gives teams issues defensively, but Alabama offensively got in the transition, forced turnovers, turned defense into offense, and I don't know what Nate Oates told Javon Quinterly a couple of months ago, but the last 6 to 7 games, this dude has been unreal, Quinterly has.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy that for the past 2 years, man, I've just been saying if Alabama would get into a transition style of play up tempo with the type of guys we recruit, lengthy stretch fours, stretch threes, we never really have a true 5 out there on the floor, and we always have scoring guards. Why don't we pick up the tempo? And Nate Oates did just that on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. I love our stretch zone that we run from time to time in stretches that match up that man zone is pretty nasty when you have what's my guy's name playing the passing lanes in the middle. But yeah, man, it's crazy to see what Alabama athletics is doing this year. To be going through the pandemic and coming out of it like we are. Shout out to the vaccine showing improvements nationwide. But, man, it's amazing to see what Alabama athletics is doing. And then for you guys to report it the way you do, it really makes us feel good, man. But I did want to comment about our secondary. Can our secondary be elite this spring? I think we have every tool in the tool shed to make our secondary elite, Steven. It's just about getting the right 5 guys on the field at the same time. Not necessarily position-wise, but putting your best 5 athletes in the secondary that understand the defense, no matter where you place them, because what has always been the advantage for us in the past is flexibility. So if we can get 7 to 8 guys that are flexible in that secondary and get the right 5 on the field to set the tone, I think we're going to be nasty, Steven.
I think Alabama has the opportunity to do the same thing there, Senator. It's just getting the right combination in that starting rotation of 5 to 6 guys in that nickel and dime defense. If Alabama can do that, it's going to be fine. Like I mentioned, you've got Jordan Battle, who's safe in his spot. You got Malachi Moore, who's safe in his spot. It's just divvying up the other spots there on the field. But we appreciate the call, Senator. You keep listening to us. Senator Hines calling in, talking some Bama football with us on the show. But before we take our break, just final thoughts here on Bama men's basketball. Proud of this team. Hopefully Primo will be able to go against Tennessee, but really like what this team is doing. This team has a shot. If it keeps playing the way it's playing, cutting down the turnovers, playing great defense, shooting good, consistent shots, this is a group that can get far in the NCAA tournament. Got some super chats to get to right now as we raffle these off. How about Willie Beeman, baby? Willie Beeman, that $10 donation coming from him. Dallas Schwartz, a $10 donation coming from Dallas. We appreciate him. And Gucci Todd again, another $10. We are about to redefine the Super Chat Go here on TDA. We take a break right now. Upon our return, we get into a conversation on Keilan Robinson. He is turning some heads in the off-season program. Can Keilan steal some big carries away from the other back starting this spring? We'll talk Keilan Robinson after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
As we're back in from the break here, folks, give yourselves a hand, people. You, the Alabama Nation, have doubled the Super Chat goal here at TDA as Willie351 topping us off right now. That's $777 in the Super Chat. So everybody, appreciate the love, the support, the throwing the money in the hat. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for what you do and making us your show here on the YouTube channel. In my own words, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, right here. Continue to hit that thumbs up, give us a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way we can continue hitting you with the best in Bama coverage. Also, if you want to become a member to TDA on YouTube, here's what you do. You check out the link in the chat line as well as in the description. That link will take you step by step on how to become a member to the YouTube channel. But we get into our conversation on the running back position, and it involves one Keilan Robinson back for of a 2021 campaign starting this spring. He opted out of the 2020 season due to the COVID pandemic, but Robinson is turning heads in the offseason fourth quarter workout program. Like, the coaching staff is really impressed with Keilan right now. I've been told by close, respectable sources inside the program, the coaching staff, they're not going to be able to keep Keilan off the field. They are impressed by the work he put in. Despite not being on campus in 2020, he teamed up with a good friend of his, and he built up his body. He bulked up his body. He looks like the Terminator. He looks like Trent Richardson. He looks like an SEC running back now. And prior to this happening, he always had speed. Nick Saban always referred to him as the guy with the get up and go, the guy with the juice, the guy with the acceleration, kind of garnered those Kenyon Drake comparisons as far as hitting the hole and then bursting up and down the field into open space. He had two of the longest touchdown runs in his true freshman season, the 2019 campaign. But now he's added bulk, he's added muscle, he's added size to that power. So not only is he going to be able to juke you out your shoes and go north and south and fly to the end zone, but now he's got the ability to inflict some pain now. He can put some pain on linebackers. He can put some pain on defensive backs. He can put some pain on some guys. He can carry some tacklers. He can carry some defenders. He can kind of be that pinball type of running back that Josh Jacobs was during his tenure at the University of Alabama. So this is a big deal here for Keilan. And he looks like now he could be able to have 10 to 15 carries per game. What I'm being told in the fourth quarter program, Brian Robinson is the primary back. He's number one. But behind B-Rob, there's a 2A and 2B between Jace McClellan and Keilan Robinson. They're kind of jockeying here for position, 2A and 2B between Jace and Keilan. Now, this is not saying that Roydell Williams has fallen off, because Roydell has not fallen off. He's good. He's doing his job. He's holding his own there. This is just saying that the coaching staff is just really impressed by the body of work that Keilan Robinson has put in. They're really impressed by what Robinson did during his time away from the program, and since his return to the university, he has dove into more of putting in work. He's dove into more of being dynamic. He's dove into more of showing you, and by you I'm referring to the coaching staff, of what he's got and what he brings to the table. And I've mentioned this before. This is a good thing for Alabama and U.S. fans because it allows you to carry Trey Sanders slowly through the recovery process. Now, he's doing well. He's on the, anti-gravity treadmill. He's hitting the treadmill. He has transitioned firmly through the rehab that he is on. And hopefully, by fall camp, you can have Sanders back at full strength, at full peak. I don't think he will go full on this spring, and I wouldn't push him to go full on this spring. I will continue to let Sanders work through the rehab, but just having Keilan Robinson doing what he's doing in the offseason program, being dominant, being consistent, being persistent, and not allowing him missing a full season to hold him back. Because normally when players miss a full season like this, and especially where COVID is concerned, you get lazy, you get complacent, you don't work out, you don't push yourself, you don't challenge yourself, and by the time you get back, you're overweight. You're not at your target weight goal. You're not at your target strength goal. You're not at your target speed goal, and the coaching staff is looking at you like who did what for and why. They're staring at you like, all of this time you spent away from us and you still didn't do nothing, and you gained weight and you lost muscle and you lost speed and you didn't take this seriously and you did not do the things that we set aside for you to do. And the coaches get frustrated, and the coaches get bothered, and the coaches get agitated. Well, they did not have to go through that song and dance with Keilan. Why? Because he took this seriously. He took the time back home in Washington, D.C., he took it for real. He took it seriously. He made this a moment where, how can I get better? I know I got speed, but what else can I give to my teammates? I know I got speed, but how else can I help the Alabama program be better? I know I got speed, but how can I put myself in the best situation where when I return to campus, I'm challenging Brian Robinson, I'm challenging Jace McClellan, I'm pushing other guys for a chance to not only be back on the field, but possibly carve out a role for myself to be an impactful player. And that's exactly what Robinson has done. He's carved out that role, as you're seeing the pictures here on screen, by building up his arms, by building up that chest, that torso, his calf muscles, his legs. I mean, I'm excited to see when Dr. Matt Ray, as Dr. Matt Ray continues to get his hands on Keilan, I'm excited to see what he does. And not just improving his speed even more, but making can Keilan Robinson become a number 2 back? This is becoming interesting right now, because I know I mentioned the 2A and 2B between Keilan and Jace McClellan. The way Keilan's pushing right now, can Keilan become the number 2 back this spring and throughout spring, or can Jace maybe possibly hold him off and Keilan becomes kind of the change of pace back? Because this is interesting. You got 7 guys on a roster. You got 7 guys on the board here, and Alabama's going to look to keep all 7. Now, if it loses one, I think the one that could lose would be Kyle Edwards, simply because Kyle has not had a chance to really be on the field at all. So if there was one you could lose, it would be him. It'll be interesting to see how this all boils down. But Keilan Robinson dominating the fourth quarter program, being exceptional in the program, and right now he's jockeying for position with Jace McClellan to be that number 2 back behind one Bryant Robinson. We take our next break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. Still getting your chest warm here. Continue to hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, smash the like button, turn on those notifications, hit that subscribe button as we continue to get you the best in Bama football news. Upon our return, we continue the dialogue and the conversation with you, the fans, right after.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We popping open that fresh bottle, baby. Fresh bottle of Alabama football conversation in from the break on the number 1 forum for Crimson Tide football news in my own words on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, and it's back on the call line right now, call segment right now. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. That's the number to dial to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. But as you're getting your thoughts in, Tua Tagovailoa is the topic of conversation. Tua Tagovailoa is gearing up to shut some haters down, to quiet some critics, to silence some doubters in year 2 in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. I mean, he's been working really extremely hard this offseason. And what's crazy is the slander that Tagovailoa has been getting on Twitter, on social media, whether it's rival fans, just people in general, looking at Tua as if to say, talking about how he can't play, he's not accurate, he sucks, he's terrible, he's not good, he's not wowing, he's not special. I mean, you look at Joe Burrow, he's special. You look at Justin Herbert, he's special. You look at Josh Allen, he's special. All these young quarterbacks, they're special. There's nothing special to name here in Tua's game. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I would move off of Tua right now. He didn't show me anything last year. He was terrible last year. He was awful last year. If I was Miami with the number 3 overall pick, I either draft the quarterback or I go entertain the Houston Texans and try to get Deshaun Watson. First and foremost, do people not understand and realize that nearly just 2 years ago, in November 2019, Mississippi State and Davis Wade Stadium, Starkville, Mississippi, do we not realize that roughly almost 2 years ago, we did not think, it was a question as to whether Tua Tagovailoa would ever walk again? Not play football. Let's put football on the back burner. We were wondering if this brother would ever put one foot in front of the other again. We were wondering if this brother would ever be able to do daily things again. Because when he dislocated that right hip with a break in the posterior wall of the acetabulum. They had to go in and restructure the entire bottom of Tua's hip, the entire wall of that hip. We were wondering, would Tua be able to walk, function as a human being again, let alone play football? I mean, going back to the interview I had with Dr. Kane, Dr. Kane, who did Tua's hip injury surgery there, Dr. Kane talked about it. He said Tua is resilient. He's tough. He always sees the glass half full. He never pouted. He never got down on himself. He hit the rehab hard. He pushed himself hard. And Tua, after the surgery, made it his business to get through every checkpoint, to get through every checkup. During the 2020 draft process, Tagovailoa said, I'm only concerned about my medical. I want to pass my medical. If I can pass my medical, I'm good. If I can pass my medical, then we can talk about the other facets here of my game that I want to accomplish. And whether there were reports from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network or Laura Rutledge at ESPN, no matter who the national media pundit was, the reports kept saying, no loss of blood flow to his hip. Tua's got full range of motion of the hip. He's able to bend on the hip. He's able to maneuver on the hip. Like, there was so much positivity going with the hip. And then when Tua had the virtual pro day with Trent Dilfer, and he was able to make the variety of passes at the pro day in Nashville, everybody was like, whoa, he's good. He's okay. He's all right. We can draft him. There was a lot of positivity there. Now, a lot of people still said, I wouldn't play him his first year, though. I would still redshirt him. I would still sit him, let him fully heal, let him get back cleanly to 100%. But the Miami Dolphins still played him. And though his rookie season wasn't the best, it was not terrible either. He went 6-3. The last time I checked, people, that's a winning record. In those 9 games, he darn near passed for 400 yards or 300 yards in 4 of those games. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, he did throw for 300-plus yards and only lost the game by 5. And let's just be honest with you right here. Even with all that happened with Tua, he had the worst offensive line in the NFL. He had wide receivers that couldn't catch a cold, couldn't stop a nosebleed, couldn't catch me if I was running a go route. And the best receiving option he had on the field was Mike Gesicki at tight end. That's the best he had out there on the field. He had an offensive play caller in Chan Gailey that was just pathetic. Chan Gailey literally baby Tua. You don't baby Tua. You let that young man rip the football. Nick Saban didn't baby him. Trent Dilfer didn't baby him. His daddy didn't baby him. His high school coach didn't baby him. You let Tua rip the football. Chan Gailey had 2 different play call sheets out there. One for Tua that was conservative, and one for Ryan Fitzpatrick where he let Ryan Fitzpatrick do his thing. You don't baby Tua. You let Tua go out there, rip that football, do his thing. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, you got the right quarterback, draft around him, which is exactly what they're doing. Tua is about to shut some folks up. I remember when he was at the Elite 11, Trent Dilfer doubted him at first, but then, Tua clapped back on Trent Dilfer. And Dilfer was like, man, I was wrong. You the real deal. You the real deal. And I'm glad I was wrong. And Tua won Elite 11 MVP in 2016. He loves being doubted. He loves being told what he can't do so he can go out there and actually show you that he can do it. Tua's about to shut some folks up. He's training. He's getting that body in order. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in year 2 coming up in the fall. Got to shout out Randy Harris, that $10 donation and the Super Chats. Appreciate that love coming from one Randy Harris. We take another break right now. Don't touch that dial. Still talking Bama football with you. Continue hitting that like sub, smashing the like button, giving us that thumbs up, turning on those notifications, hitting that subscribe button as we continue getting you the best in Bama football. We take a break right now, but upon our return, we have a conversation on the offensive line. Alabama trying to get that offensive line in order starting this spring. We'll talk the big boys after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, I'm fresh off my Tua Tagovailoa soapbox here from the break on the hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, just had to get that off my chest there for a minute. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to the show on this evening. We're at 41 likes now, so continue to hit that like button, run those likes up, smash the like button, turn on those notifications, and hit that subscribe button as we continue to get you the best in Alabama football news, notes, information, and coverage here on the show. But before we get into the final topic of the conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. So, for all of you fans still overjoyed with the Tide winning the national championship, check out our championship collection merch. You grab you 18 of them things, folk, t-shirt, hoodie, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs which features all 18 championship years on the back of the shirts. Head over to TDAwear.com. Do it right now. TDAwear.com and go to the Championship Collections tab and get you that merch today, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Cop you some of those shirts right now. But we dive into the offensive line for the Crimson Tide because this is another area going into spring practice next week that you as Tide fans are a little concerned about, wanting to make sure the offensive line is strong, on the up and up, good to go, ready to roll. And prior to last year, the 2012 offensive line was the gold standard for the Crimson Tide. That 2012 group that had the likes of Cyrus Kouandjio on there, Barrett Jones, DJ Fluker, Anthony Steen, Chance Warmack, that offensive line right there, those guys up front. That was the gold standard for the Crimson Tide. Everybody was measured up to that group. And the teacher of that gold standard was Jeff Stoutland. That was an offensive line that produced two 1,000-yard backs in Eddie Lacy and TJ Yeldon. That was an offensive line that produced a 30-touchdown season from A.J. McCarron. That was an offensive line that also helped one Amari Cooper as a freshman have a 1,000-yard year. That line, you had Kouandjio, you had Chance Warmack, you had Fluker and Barrett Jones. They were all All-Americans on that group. So for the longest of time, that 2012 offensive line was the gold standard until last season. The 2020 offensive line surpassed the 2012 group a season ago when you discuss the 2020 group blocked for a 4,000-yard passer and Mac Jones, 4,500 yards. 2012 didn't have that. The 2020 group blocked for a 1,400-yard rusher and Najee Harris and a guy that caught 45 passes in Harris. It blocked for an 1,800-yard receiver in Devontae Smith, who won every award imaginable, including the Heisman Trophy. It blocked for 48.5 points per game, 11 40-plus point games in a 13-game span. That offensive line had two unanimous All-Americans in Landon Dickerson and Alex Leatherwood. So the 2020 group coached by Kyle Flood was the real deal. And the question is, can next year's group, starting off in the spring, defend that title as the Joe Moore Award-winning line? Can next year's group defend that title and keep the excellence going on that front group with Doug Marrone as the offensive line coach? Now, you're replacing 3 guys to the NFL. You're replacing Landon Dickerson, Deontay Cornbread Brown, and Alex Leatherwood. And this is not easy. This is going to be a hard thing. It's going to be hard to replace a Dickerson who was the personality of your offensive line. He was the heart and soul. He was the glue. He was the captain. He was the Iron Man, the Remington Trophy winner, the Jacobs Blocking Trophy winner. Like, Landon Dickerson's nothing to play with. Like, when Landon Dickerson became a center, he fused that offensive line together. So it's going to be hard to replace that guy. It's going to be hard to replace an athletic left tackle in Leatherwood, All-American, Outland Trophy winner, Jacobs Blocking Trophy winner. It's going to be hard to replace a guy like Deontay Brown, who, although people rave him for his run blocking ability, he did not give up a sack last year. Deontay Brown did not give up a sack in his entire career. And that's crazy because he's not known for his pass protection at 6'3", 6'4", 364 pounds, the mammoth of a man that Cornbread Brown is. He's not known for his pass protection, but he did not give up a sack in his entire career. So it's going to be difficult replacing these 3 guys. But the good thing for Bama football is, on the offensive line, it does return 3 guys with experience for this group starting off in the spring and discussing Chris Owens, Emil Ekiyor, and Evan Neal. Chris Owens back at that center position, Ekiyor back at right guard, Evan Neal back more than likely at left tackle. Now, me, honestly, I would take all of the experience and flip it over to the left side of the offensive line, and that being Neal at right tackle and Neal at left tackle, and Ekiyor at left guard. But I can understand why Nick Saban is doing what he's doing, because you want to have a balance. You don't want to have all of your experience to the left side and all of your inexperience to the right side, because that tells a defense, hey, attack the right side. They have less experience on that side of the ball. So I can see why Saban would want to have just Neal at left tackle, so whoever plays left guard, you at least have Neal there helping the left guard out, and having Ekiyor at right guard, whoever plays right tackle, it can have Ekiyor helping that particular person out. So I can see where Nick Saban is going with this, having the balance on both sides of the football. But you got 3 guys back, Chris Owens, of whom he's not like Dickerson was, but he's got experience playing center, playing left tackle, playing guard, playing tight end. He's got experience around the whole offensive line. So having him back is a big deal. Ekiyor got better down the stretch of last season, really started to be able to sink his teeth into being dominant there on the front line. We know what Evan Neal can do. We know what Evan Neal can bring there as he looks to protect the blind side of Alabama's quarterbacks. It's got 3 right-handed guys on scholarship in Young, Paul Tyson, and Jalen Milroe. Now, what's going to be interesting here is the battle at left guard and right tackle. This is going to be interesting because right now, Tommy Brown and Kendall Randolph, they will get the first crack at it opening day next week, next Friday in spring ball. They'll get the first crack at it. Now, will they be able to fend off some of the other talented guys? That remains to be seen. Tommy Brown at 6'7", he's got the size to be a tackle, but the footwork, not quite there yet. So he needs to start off as a guard, work in that phone booth, get his feet wet there on the interior. Kendall Randolph as a tackle, he's got some ability to him, but can he fend off a Javion Cohan? Can he fend off a Damian George? Can he fend off a Tommy Brockermeyer? Can he fend off a J.C. Latham? Can he fend off a Terrence Ferguson and other guys that are going to be pushing for that right tackle spot This is big competition. This is good competition. This is what Alabama needs in having the best 5 guys on the field to defend the crown of the Joe Moore Award, but also continue the dominance that's been laid down by the 2020 group in making sure that the offense flows through that front line. So next week, spring ball starting up. Excited to see what this offensive line can do as well. But as always, Tide Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your favorite program. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. As always, Tide fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be in the description. Also, if you're trying to cop that print edition, that print copy of the magazine that's coming soon, you go to touchdownalabama.com. That's touchdownalabama.com. You click join, you become a member, become a subscriber today to touchdownalabama.com to get the copy of the print magazine. That link in the description. You can also check out weownthefourthquarter.com. Copy that 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry. weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands, children, weekend in the building. Do the right thing, the fun thing, but the legitimate thing, to not be bored. Be sure to get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy Alabama men's basketball in the semifinal round versus Tennessee tomorrow in the SEC tournament. But until next time, folks, so long, everybody. It's been in my own words.